So I wanted to show you this beautiful book. This is a book by Bruno Munari called Drawing a Tree. One thing about this book is that Bruno didn't include the roots. So you have to imagine what is supporting this tree from underneath. Not all trees grow perfectly symmetrical. Symmetry is a myth. And trees grow in response to their conditions, as do we. There's another fact to consider when you draw a tree. The fact is that there are mad branches too, like in nearly all families. So here's a thin branch emerging from the trunk like an April Fool. Small branches can spring out from all over the place and cover the tree. But if you look carefully, you can still see the branching pattern. And let's imagine now that we are trees, tree bodies, recalling Bruno Munari's illustrations, recalling that he didn't draw the roots. So before you imagine your branches, feel your roots, feel your trunk. And let's just start to feel our own shapes. Branches extending into space. And through your branches, you might imagine your particular offerings. If you are a teacher, what is it that you teach? If you are a lover, how is it that you love? If you are a warrior, what is it that you fight for? Your particular offerings, your energies, your branches growing out into space. And let's just be trees for a little bit and express ourselves outward. Growing into our conditions. Where is the light coming from? Where is the breath? Letting branches sway as breezes come from new relationships, external events. Oh, we're influenced this way. Now I'm going to grow over here. And once I've grown, my weight shifts. And now what directions want to happen? What are possible? Remembering the mad branches. So even if the thrust of our lives is taking us into very particular situations, oh, you went to school, you became this thing, but actually you have a secret hobby. Right? Actually, there's a secret third thing. Oh, letting a mad branch grow. Deviating from any kind of idea of symmetry. What kind of tree are you? And playing a little bit here with, if you're standing, especially, maybe letting one of your feet or your legs come up, expressing itself as a tree branch. And just invite you here to play with your own reach potential. You could reach out of your own kinesphere. Investing in your roots, investing in your trunk. Playing with your limbs. And something that's kind of a funny metaphor is that sometimes when we're trying to balance, like if I'm balancing in my tree pose, if I'm trying to balance by staying still, the pose becomes a lot more challenging actually to balance, and it kind of hurts me in my body. It doesn't feel great. But if I try to fall out, actually, if I let my tree be a living tree, not a statue of a tree, balance for me actually becomes a little bit, it's not that it's easier, But sometimes when I'm reaching, it's harder to fall than if I'm trying to stay still. Playing with your sense of possibility. How many directions can you grow? And as you grow in these different directions, you are in relationship to earth and to sky and to space. Oh, my tree just wanted to switch orientations and root from my hands. So I'm going to try that. You can root from anywhere in your body. Wherever you're rooting from, I watch this in the plants in my garden. They fall over and then they root again. So wherever you're rooting from, playing with balance and imbalance. Yeah. How does a reach become a rooting? Tiny little mycelial threads. Just play for one more minute with our tree shapes. You try and move out of your own balance. It brings you closer to your own center. That reaching out of your kinesphere requires your core. And then finding a tree shape to pause in for a moment, just expressing a shape that feels like your tree for today. And then we'll honor the waning moon cycle and let this decompose. So we're going to sacrifice our trees now. And I'd like you to let your tree melt. Maybe a limb just gives way. We're going to find ourselves all the way down on the ground. Take your own time, explore your own process of this particular form ending, transforming, becoming something else, decomposing. Tree body becomes a nurse tree, a place where life then nourishes life. Finding your way all the way down, back to earth, decomposing your tree body, allowing yourself to find a place of rest in any shape